Welcome back, Halo followers. Today I want to share my thoughts about this brand new information. Breaking story just came out. Jerry Hook, the head of design at 343 Industries for Halo Infinite, has left. And I'm going to break down his tweets. We're going to break down onto what this might actually mean and why he actually left. And actually, what is going on at 343 Industries, right? We've had multiplayer lead Andrew Witz. He left back in March. He said he wanted to take some time off to relax and recharge. Kind of don't blame him. And then we also have the game's lead narrative designer, Aaron Lind. He left in January to take a position at Riot Games. This doesn't include the other people that have left other major positions during development of Halo Infinite last year and the year before that. Now, Phil Spencer said that turnover is a good thing. I don't think it is. The reason why Halo Infinite is in the state that it is because I think basically they outsourced. I think they outsourced too many companies, too many individuals, too many contracts, and so they have this engine duct taped and pieced together, and when something goes wrong, well, that person is now working across the country at another studio. This entire studio and engine has been built up by people that no longer work there, by thousands of people that no longer work there. So these issues, one, I think were foreseeable, but now we have Jerry Hook leaving the studio. So I want to break down his tweets firstly. He said this, all right, this is what he opened up with. He said, "Today marks my last day at 343 Industries, Microsoft, and Halo." By the way, he's been working there since, I think, 2003 at Microsoft anyway. "The journey has been filled with creating new worlds, platforms, and products from Xbox and Xbox Live to Halo. Most of it has been working alongside some of the most passionate and driven people in the industry that have impacted millions of players around the world. Thank you all for who have let me run alongside you in this amazing industry, and thank you to this community. If we all did things we are capable of doing, we could literally astound ourselves." By Edison. And he also talks about really why people all these people are leaving, right? This guy says on Twitter, "Too many people leaving. Do you even like Halo?" And Jerry responded, "You can love the game that you work on and still leave the company. Each of us is on our own path for our own needs or the needs of our family." Honestly, from what I've heard is that when you start working on a game that you love, it kind of ruins it, actually. At least that seems to be the what I've heard with Halo, right? He said, "Thank you for all the thoughts and well wishes. No, I was not fired or let go. I opted to do the one thing that everyone at some point has to do, and that is grow their experiences. Take a risk on yourself and push your limits and expand your horizons." So, yes, I think that is true. I think that there is always going to be a point when you just want to move on and you want to work on something else, especially someone like him that's been working on Halo and Microsoft for a very, very, very long time. I'm not quite sure what he's got planned for the future. Maybe he's somewhat retiring or taking a long vacation hiatus or something, but it seems like a lot of people are doing that after 343, and I'm not getting on to Jerry about anything specifically. I'm just finding it very peculiar as to all the people leaving Halo after this disastrous launch, right? And maybe it's not disastrous. It's very mixed, right? I think that the campaign delivered in a lot of ways, although, wasn't perfect. And then we also have the multiplayer, which is a mixed bag. Maybe you could argue that it's a bad launch. People say that the gameplay mechanics are there, but the desyncing, the issues with the multiplayer, the bugs, yada yada. These are big issues that really still have not been addressed in the way that we want them to be addressed. We're still waiting on Forge. We're still waiting on some minor bug fixes, like I think weapon jam fixing was just fixed the other day. But anyway, we have some pretty big stuff that needs to be addressed here, and we keep having people leave. Like every few months, a major position leaves. This concerns me because we have this really weak roadmap. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of vision, at least in the public's knowledge, as to what they're planning on to do with this game. Right now it's archaic. They say that we're gonna do better, things are gonna get better, but there's nothing inspired here, and this hurts the morale of the modern Halo fan because Well, we know that there's only a few faces attached to Halo at this point. There used to be Frank O'Connor, don't know where he is. There's also Bonnie Ross, but she's not even really in Halo anymore. There was Kiki Wolfkill, she's gone. She's like working on the TV show and barely talks about Halo really in the public's eye. So we only have a few people like Unishack and other individuals that it is just it's really demoralizing every time one of these big guys leave. I can't imagine what would happen if Joseph Staten left, because that would ruin a lot of people's hopes. Now, what does this really mean for Halo Infinite? This is the head of design. I think that his job is pretty much done. We do know that Certain Affinity a month or two ago announced that they have been entrusted with evolving Halo Infinite, which is likely a massive mode that they're working on. Certain Affinity has actually even worked with Bungie on Halo before. They have been in the ring for a long time for Halo, so they're getting much more serious about the franchise, and they are picking up a lot of slack that 343 Industries is putting down, you know? So I'm glad that is happening, and I'm really excited for the Certain Affinity twist of things, right? But what does this really mean for Halo 7, or whatever you want to call it? Halo Infinite Part 2. You know, I don't know if DLC is coming. It looks like campaign DLC isn't coming for years and years. Maybe it's going to be another 6 years before we see a Halo game. There's obviously something really, I don't know, wrong right now. I feel like Microsoft's getting like a fat cat, and they're getting lazy. They've gotten the edge for so long, and they're such a rich company that they're not really trying anymore. They've bought out a bunch of companies without really worrying about their main IP. They realize how much money they can make on the Xbox Game Pass, and I think that is the crux as to why Halo is withering. They're trying to broaden their fan base without even knowing what their fan base is or wants. You know, the broadening audience thing really does hurt. So anyway, head of design's gone. I'm sure they're going to find someone good to replace him. But you know, Jerry Hook, thank you for your service on working Halo. I'm sure he did his part on the good parts on Halo Infinite. And with that being said, it's kind of a dicey situation. What happens now? You know, what happens now with Halo? You know, this is kind of a bigger question outside of just one person leaving the company. They're going to be fine. 343 is going to be fine with this guy leaving, but what kind of culture is going on there? Why is everyone wanting to expand right now of all times? I know that the game did just release, but that was like 6 or 7 months ago. People keep wanting to expand and spread their wings after this really dicey, sketchy launch of a game that is really hard to work on. Seems a little bit like convenient timing, if you ask me. So yeah, I think, again, 343 is going to be fine. I want to hear more about Season 3 and what they got planned, and the only reason why I would really be worried about head of design leaving is for the next game. And so right now would probably be a good time. I would imagine that 343 is working on a sequel or some campaign DLC, something that requires a lot of design work. So I don't know, maybe that encompasses pretty much the entire game. You know, the UI, kind of like the director of the UI, the campaign levels, the multiplayer levels, yada, yada, yada. This might be a huge blow to Halo. I'm not 100% sure. Outside looking in, doesn't seem like a huge deal. But you guys let me know what you think about this down in the comment section below. And yeah, got quite a few lead positions leaving this year already. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Kind of seems convenient timing. But with that being said, guys, I'll leave it there before I start going into a huge rant. But yeah. I'll catch you in the next one soon. All right, you take care. Peace.